Hi YouTube, it's Kathy, and this is your final video challenge of Valentine's 2021. That means in addition to me talking about some books and giving you a little bit of a challenge, there will be a giveaway at the end of this video. Also, if you can hear sounds in the background, that's, I think, a neighbor weed whacking. We're gonna make this video regardless of their weed whackery. The challenge that I came up with was books for whom your love has stood the test of time, which is a super long-winded way of saying books that you love but you don't have recency bias for. That means I don't want to talk about the books you read last week or last month or maybe even last year. I want to talk about older books that you still love, you still come back to, they still have a place in your heart. There's absolutely no limit on how many books that you can talk about. You can talk about as many or as few in your video that you want, but to be included in the giveaway, you do need to make a video on this topic, post it, and then put the links in the comment of this video so I can find it. From those entries, one person will be randomly selected to win a prize, which I will tell you about at the end of this video. Obviously, I could probably go on and on and on with this list, but I just kind of went through books that I've read not very recently and kind of tried to figure out just a few to talk about. The first is a series called the Lady Trent Memoirs series. This is a series of 5 books about Lady Trent, you might have been able to guess that, and it's her memoirs that she's writing about her time going out into the world to various different places to discover the dragons of that area. Firstly, can we look at the art? Because the art on the cover of these books is just amazing. Every cover had these beautiful different dragons from the region. I understand that these books can be seen as a little bit episodic, like, oh, in this one she happens to go to the place that is like a wetland, so these are the types of dragons, and then something happens and she has to figure it out. Yeah, I get that. I don't care. It has dragons and it's a lot of fun and it's very feminist. It's a very kind of Victorian England type of feel, but with dragons. And I just really want to reread these because now that I've reminded myself of them, I need them back in my life. The next book feels like more of a story to me, and that's because it's a story that I used to tell all the time while I was living in Edinburgh, Scotland. I used to be a tour guide there, and this story was actually the story I told at the end of the tours, and it usually took me a good 15-20 minutes to get through all of these cool details, and because of that, I love the book and the subsequent movie, Stone of Destiny. For a really brief synopsis, this is about the Stone of Destiny, which is a stone that men would be sat on to be coronated as the King of Scotland, and then 700 years ago, some English people stole it because that's what the English do. They steal your artifacts. To add insult to injury, they put it under the throne of England, so anyone that was being crowned the monarch of England was now also the monarch of Scotland, and obviously Scotland wasn't very cool with this. In the 1950s, some university students decided that they were going to drive down to London and steal it back. It's a heist story, guys. It's a heist story and it's so much fun. It would be really silly to make this video without mentioning Words in Deep Blue. I know that my best friend is sighing on the other side of this video because she's like, of course you're gonna mention that one. When don't you mention that one? Words in Deep Blue is a very bibliophilic book about this family-owned bookshop that has this letter library that is just a fascinating portion to it, and his best friend who moved away has recently come back. When she left him a letter saying, hey, I actually have a crush on you, and she never really heard anything back about that, so she's been upset with him for like 3 years, but he never got the letter. So that is a whole situation on top of the fact that she's dealing with some grief. It's beautifully written. I just really, really love bibliophilic books, and this is one of them. When it comes to being fans of things, Radio Silence is such a great fandom read for me. It's about this girl who does art for this favorite podcast of hers, and I don't want to tell you anything else because honestly, I just bought this book based on the cover. It was my first Alice Oseman book I had ever read. I've read basically everything else I can get my hands on, and I just love this story. I love Alice Oseman. Just, yes. I also wanted to mention In Other Lands, which is this great, sarcastic, bisexual protagonist who goes to a magic school but doesn't want to be like everybody else and fight. He wants to do the more scholarly aspect of things, and it's got this great love triangle. It's got a whole other race of people that use gender roles backwards to how humans do it, and that's just really fun to watch. So if you've ever been the fan of a Portal fantasy, this takes that and flips it on its head, and I love it for that. The last few I want to mention are webcomics and also one podcast that turned into a book series because I just love them, and I think that my love for them is going to continue on forever, and they've been loves in my life for a while, so I figured it's okay that I put them in here. One is Heartstopper, again by Alice Oseman. I feel like everybody knows what this is. If you don't, you can read it online for free. Go read it, it's delightful. There's also Lore Olympus, which to be fair is the most recent thing on this list, but it is something I still keep up with all the time. I got into it just after 100 episodes or so were already published, so I was able to go through those in 2 days. And oh, that sweet, sweet slow burn. I am so glad that I was able to just condense that to 2 days because, oh, it's so good. There's also Check Please. I've only read the first volume. I know I can read it online, but I do eventually want to acquire the volumes, and I'm kind of saving the second part because I know there's not more after that, and I just love these characters so much. The last thing I'll mention is Welcome to Night Vale, which is a fantastic podcast that I have not been keeping up with because I listen to audiobooks instead of podcasts now, but also the book series is just weird and wonderful, and I can never see myself not enjoying this series and all that comes with it. Should you decide to take this challenge and tell me about the books for whom your love has not faded, you could win the following prize. Doors of Sleep by Tim Pratt. This book came out earlier this year from Angry Robot. They are donating it to us to send to one of you, so, you know, you could be the only one that does this challenge and then you automatically win. Just saying. As we know, I don't usually read synopses of books before going into them, but I'm going to read it for you, in case you need a reason to push you over the edge to make your video. What would you do if you woke up and found yourself in a parallel universe under an alien sky? This is the question Zach Stellatree must answer every time he closes his eyes. Every time Zach Stellatree falls asleep, he travels to a new reality. He has no control over his destination and never knows what he will see when he opens his eyes. Sometimes he wakes up in technological utopias and other times in bombed-out ruins of collapsed civilizations. All he has to live by are his wits and small aids he's picked up along the way: technological advantages from techno-utopias, sedatives to escape dangerous worlds, and stimulants to extend his stay in pleasant ones. Thankfully, Zax isn't always alone. He can take people with him if they're unconscious in his arms when he falls asleep. But someone unwelcome is on his trail, and they are after something that Zax cannot spare: the blood running through his veins, the power to travel through worlds. This sounds really cool, and honestly I'm a little bit jealous that one of you gets to win this book, so make sure to make your video. Like I said, there's a chance you'll be the only person that makes a video and links it in time, so you know, get on it. For the other video challenges, I believe they were leaving it until the end of the month. Obviously, the end of the month is a couple of days from now, so let's say a week into March is when I will pick a winner. That's all I have for you today. What books have stood the test of time for you? Let me know about them down in the comments below, or make your own video. On the way down to the comments, if you hit that subscribe button, that would be very nice of you. If you don't feel like leaving a comment but want to make sure that I know you are here, just leave me an emoji or a smiley face if you're on your computer. Some people have asked if there's a way to financially support this channel, so I set up a Ko-fi account, which is a digital tipping service. The link for that is down below, as well as the link to my PayPal or my Amazon wishlist in case you would like to buy me a book. You can like and share this as you see fit, and I will see you very soon. Bye!